snappy tune.
What's up?
What's up?
How's it going,
Hey,
everybody?
tune. How about this? The cat and the bat, right?
There you go.
Katie's Katie's
the cat.
our friend Kate. Yeah, actually the cat he's up here. He'll be zooming in. He actually hung out with me to watch Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, nice.
Of course, he didn't do that for me when I was watching Blood Claws, but he's hung out with me at least for Jason.
He was smart enough. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Echo. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
And my mom's here too.
Hi, June. How are you? Yeah, I didn't. Echo actually watched that movie. He actually went over and watched it off of Tubi, and he even made a video about Blood Claws.
I saw. I need to watch that. I need to watch what he thought.
He
was Waffles in the house.
All right, Waffles.
T Betty's up in here.
Jim's in the house. All right.
Jim's up super late.
Yeah. Jim just followed me on Instagram. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it, my brother. Thank you. Hello, T Betty. Okay. Echo says he helped paint over 600 crosses today. Think that's enough to keep the vampires away. Maybe, but I'm not so sure about Escape Panthers.
Not this one.
Yeah. I just want to see a picture of Blade when he was younger. I mean, did he after he got bit? After his mom got bit, and then he was born. Like when he was growing up, did he sleep upside down too? Did he have bat wings? Did they fall off as he got older?
Maybe. Vanessa's here.
See, look at that. See, he won't be making fun of me when it comes down to Blood Claws because I was right. I wouldn't. Yep. Thank you, Waffles. Oh,
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Al. It's up to you. All right. So now you're being followed by the best channel name in YouTube history.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, Heroic Waffles. You can't get better than that.
That's a pretty good one.
It's the best one.
I have to say.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of good channel names, but I have to admit, Heroic Waffles is definitely my favorite. So I was very glad to see him bring it back. Wow. Fun week this week, huh? Happy anniversary, tuberversary to you, Al.
Thank you. Yes. Been on here a whole year already. Can't believe it.
It flies, doesn't it?
It really does. It seemed like I just started yesterday.
Well, glad that we met. Glad that we're doing this. Glad that everybody's in the chat. It was a fun show you had. We got to ask you all sorts of fun questions.
Yeah, I kind of had a blast actually, and I went way longer than I expected to. I was expecting to go on maybe an hour, but I went
everybody was there to support you. I looked actually. I took a peek around, and seriously, you were dominating the community. Everybody else was to have like 2 or 3 people in their shows, and you were drawing a much bigger crowd. And I think
the bat brings them in, man.
Well, I think you being such a cool dude brings them in.
Yeah, it's probably the bat, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. I just like how I like how you got all those victims in. I mean, all those people to come in. You invited them in. He said, "Come on in," and they all came in on their own accord. So, isn't that how bats work?
Yep. Come on into the crypt.
Yeah, I mean, they invite you or
movie crypt.
Let's see. Echo says we never asked Al the hard question: which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh, the bat.
The bat. The cat.
The bat came first.
Wow, what a fun movie this was.
It's definitely interesting, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely different, for sure.
We're going to have a lot of fun with it, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to talk about, for sure. Absolutely.
And, of course, this sets up our huge cliffhanger, because after this, you're going to be away for 2 weeks.
Yes. Which is great because this movie ends on a cliffhanger. So
that's right. That's right. This movie, well, sort of like a cliffhanger. We had to wait for it a little
we had
bit.
to wait 10 years, but it was
Yeah.
a 10-year cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have to wait that long for me to come back. So that's the good news.
Yes. Where exactly are you and Vanessa going to?
We're going to Florida. We're going to have a nice little time in Florida for a little while. Yep.
All right. All right. Going to the beach?
Going to a few different places. So we'll be hitting up a few different places. I may record something. I don't know yet. Depends on the mood, I guess.
Please, you know what? Honestly, and Vanessa, I'm telling you, don't just make videos for you and your wife. You don't need to do anything for the channel. Go on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Go on vacation.
Yeah.
Get away from it. Get away from this. So,
Casey's in the house.
Oh, Casey's in the house. That's right. Hopefully you're feeling better, Casey. Casey tweets us back. So, yeah. So hopefully feeling better. Those who can, those who care to, can share us out. That'll be awesome. I discovered one good thing about the community tab. The community tab is now allowing everybody to be tagged.
Nice.
Yes, it was over 500 only, but no. When I shared this out on my tab, I was able to put your name on there, and I was like, hell yeah! And so, yep. So we can put anybody. It doesn't matter how many subs you have, you can still push that channel. So that's really good. I really appreciate that too, because it was like, that's the big, to me, that's the fun of it, to promote small channels.
Small channels, right? That's kind of half of the point, right?
Right. I mean, just to go up there and you can put their name in it, but if you can't link to the channel, it's just like, well, what's the point? It's like the only people I can talk about, the ones that are over 500. That's boring. They got 500 already. Let's get the people with under 100, under 200. Let's get some more. Let's make an army.
Yeah.
Let's make an army of bats.
I got quite a number of bats under mine so far, so I'm pretty happy where I'm at. So.
Have you are you how close are you to your community tab?
I'm a little over halfway there.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I am. I'm starting to sense a little bit of. Hopefully they stay. Now I'm starting to just see a little. I'm almost to 650. Then I'll start seeing 7. So I'm excited about that. I mean, it's like, wow, 700. Who would ever have thought that?
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about Jason Goes to Hell. Now, this is actually a very decisive movie. This is actually more decisive than any of the other ones, I do believe.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think this is probably the most decisive of any of the Jason movies.
Hey, Hobbs is mentioning the witching hour is coming. That's right. Oh, that's right. Speaking of KDO, Killer Katie, the new spinoff from the Midnight Hour is ready to launch. They are launching the witching hour. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be fun. I know it has Katie, and it has Jennifer Tochi, and Ashley and Brianna. All right, I got them all. They're gonna be debuting their show on Saturdays at 7:30. Man, Saturdays is getting crowded.
Yep.
Saturdays is getting crowded. But that's a good thing.
That's actually why I was kind of hesitant to do my little show yesterday, because Saturdays are crowded.
Yeah, you crushed it. Everybody wanted to come out and see you.
So thank y'all.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys all for showing up for that. It helps our show. So I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody showing up. It was a lot of fun. But you're right. Saturdays are getting wicked. They're getting it's like, gee, every time you turn around, there's like somebody out saying the horror channel. But that's not a bad thing though. No. So I'll definitely be coming in over and checking out the witching hour. Unless they do the best, the best of Sarah Jessica Parker, then me and the Cheetah, we're out. Just being honest. Just being honest.
Yep. Unless
Uh,
unless they're talking about Ed Wood, then I'm okay.
I'll have to stick around for that. Did
Yeah.
you ever see Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Oh yeah, many times.
Yeah, I remember they used to say that was the worst movie ever made. They used to say that, and it probably at one time it probably was, but it's not anymore by a long shot.
Oh
Hey,
no.
Michael, how are you?
Oh yeah, Michael's Adventures in the house.
Right, Michael's Adventures. Now, a big Jason fan. Good, we're all big Jason fans here. Uh, I guess we should. I think we should get ready for it. We think we should dive into it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So, Jason Goes to Hell is the ninth movie in the franchise. This followed Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason Takes Manhattan only grossed a little over $14 million off a $3 million filming budget. That didn't include the marketing and whatnot. So basically, the movie bombed hard. And Paramount pretty much was embarrassed by the movie's returns. I mean, nobody really cared about Jason anymore, it seemed like. And so New Line was sitting there waiting for it, and they went ahead and they bought the character of Jason Voorhees. So they went ahead and hired a 21-year-old director named Adam Marcus to write and direct the new Jason movie. So, and Sean Cunningham came back on board. He was one of the three creators, the three movers behind Friday the 13th, along with Victor Miller, who created it, and Steve Miner. So they went ahead and they brought on Adam Marcus. Sean Cunningham produced it, and he was 21 when he was signed up. 22 when he filmed it. No, 23 when he filmed it, and a little over 24 25 when it was released. It took a long time for this movie to make it to the screen.
Yeah.
And if you notice that in the title says Jason Goes to Hell, you'll notice that there's no Friday the 13th connected to it, because when New Line bought this, they sort of shot themselves in the foot. And that is, they only bought the name of Jason Voorhees. This is the second movie in the franchise where it promises to be the last one.
To be the last one,
right? It's the last one. Okay. So there they go. They bought the name of Jason Voorhees. So when Adam Marcus started doing his story, he wanted to bring back an old favorite. He wanted to bring back Tommy Jarvis to the mix. His story involved Tommy Jarvis. Well, they couldn't do that because New Line, in their infinite wisdom, they didn't buy anything but Jason. That's all they bought. They just bought Jason Voorhees. They didn't buy the name, so no Friday the 13th. They didn't buy any other peripheral characters as well. So no Tommy Jarvis, no Tina Shepard, no Rainy. Yeah, anything that Paramount had other than Jason Voorhees, they didn't get.
They did mention Pamela, though.
Yes, they did mention Pamela in passing.
Yeah,
but I'm not really necessarily sure if they could have showed her on camera.
Right. Yes. She's not in it at all.
No. And of course, and I had a feel for Adam Marcus too about this. I guess I didn't realize this, but during a filming of a key scene, there's a mailbox, and on the mailbox, the name Voorhees is spelled wrong. So everybody was giving him, Adam Marcus, a hell of a time about that. But like he said, and he's right in saying so, everybody that was on set saw it, and no one said anything either. And that includes Sean Cunningham, who's the producer, who had the final say, and he missed it. And the New Line people who looked at it, they missed it. So, it did happen. It makes for a little quirk, but it wasn't necessarily all Adam Marcus's fault. All right. So, yeah, this is a really cool movie in the way it begins.
Which version did you watch? The rated version or the unrated?
I watched the unrated version.
Okay, good. Me too.
It really was confusing, though. I got to be honest with you. The beginning of this movie, it's a little confusing until we find out that they pretended that Part 8 never existed. So they're basically picking up Jason from Part 7, the New Blood. Adam Marcus did not want anything to do with Jason Takes, how he said it, Montreal. So what he did was he just wiped that out, because the last time we saw Jason, he was back to being a normal looking 12-year-old who just got dumped with sewage, seepage. He got hit with some bat zone seepage. And it turned him into a normal looking kid again.
It should have turned him into a giant turtle, but whatever.
That's what I thought too. Hero and a half show. Okay, so obviously that didn't happen, because we see Jason, and he is in this movie, he is the Jason from Part 7. So the movie opens up with this beautiful blonde. I said blonde. Yeah, this beautiful woman coming in by herself to Camp Crystal Lake, and she's coming in at night. She's hanging out by herself. She comes in. She puts some supplies in her cabin. She
changes a light bulb.
Yeah, changes the light bulb that's sort of melty. I mean, she's and then she went to take a shower, and yeah.
Like you do in these movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you do, and you get a pour light all alone in the cabin, and you take a shower. So, so she does. She takes a shower, and she starts hearing noises, and lo and behold, she gets out. She does the usual investigation, and she comes out of the cabin, and she's got a towel wrapped around her, and she turns around, and Jason's right there. Hi. So she doesn't stick around. She turns around, and she runs, and I got to give her credit. She ran her ass off. It wasn't one of those crying out and like, oh my god, it's just like she's like putting her head down, and she was running.
Yeah, this chick was tough as nails. Yeah,
she did fall, but then again, she's allowed to fall because she was barefoot.
Right.
So I mean, it wasn't like the usual movie cliche where she just falls and like, oh my god. She falls because she's running her ass off. Well, she runs to a small clearing, and then she stands there, and she sort of waits. And here comes Jason, on the way. And then as Jason comes to the clearing, he gets ready to hack her up, and then all of a sudden, someone said, "Hit it," and then and it wasn't the mask. And then the whole plane gets lit up, and the young lady turns out to be an FBI agent, and she has led Jason right to a trap. There's several SWAT men there, and they proceed to blow him the hell up.
Yeah, they shoot him about 1,000 times, and then they blow him up.
Yeah, there is no. Yeah, I mean, definitely it's the second worst blow up of Jason in the series. I still say KM14 did a better job, but it's still a badass scene. I mean, they torched. So what do you think about that, Al?
Well, okay, so my thoughts initially was like, what the hell? It's like, all right, movie's over, yay. But no, it's actually a really cool scene, and it's like, okay, this is going to be something a little different. You know what I mean? So like from the jump, you get that this one is going to be different from the others just because of this opening montage scene here. And the effects were great. The actual blown up and stuff was really cool looking. And yeah, actually, I think the makeup and stuff in this movie is actually really well done. And all the like makeup effects and whatnot, and we'll get into that later, but I'm sure. But very cool scene. And my only weird part is that Jason's head is now real bubbly looking, and I didn't quite get why the bubbly looking head. I don't know, but that's whatever.
Yeah, it would have been, it was a cool opening.
Oh yeah.
And I agree. And I agree with how they explain this. And it's something that's like we've noticed in all the other movies, all the way from the second one up, and that is Jason is a massive serial killer. Okay, he's killed over 100 people within a 1 to 2 mile square radius. You're not gonna. That's not gonna attract federal attention. It's just you're just gonna leave that up to Barney Fife to figure it out. Um, the beginning actually felt right because uh, this is the sort of type of response that you would get. My only thing was that when they acted like they already knew that he was supernatural. And that I wish they would have explained a little bit more about. Like, okay, because they didn't try to talk to him, they didn't try to read him his Miranda rights. They as soon as the FBI agent Julie Michaels, as soon as she got her ass out of the way, they lit him up like it was Christmas.
Oh, big
Nobody tried to talk to him. Nobody tried to calm him down. Nobody told him to, put your hands straight up or hands to the. They just lit him up, and they lit him up with not only just rifles and pistols, but they had a damn machine gun there and a grenade launcher. Yeah. So I mean, it was just like, okay, how are you knowing that what's going to happen to him? Like, how do you know that that's the response you're going to take? I mean, if you think you have a serial killer, you still go out there and you still try to arrest him and all that other stuff. But they didn't even say, they didn't say anything. They just opened up.
Yeah.
And I just wish they would have explained that just a little bit because it would have connected to part 7 a little bit better.
More. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. But the thing I thought was interesting is that they made this elaborate plan with the girl going to the cabin because they knew he would attack her at the cabin. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
It goes back to really, and we'll probably repeat the theme a lot, but it goes back to New Line not doing their homework and buying the entire franchise, because then they could have explained it. Now they can't, because now they can't mention Tina Shepard. They can't mention part 7. They can't mention anything beforehand because of the copyright, and they only bought Jason Voorhees. So it left the first of many plot holes. Not enough to ruin the movie, at least not for me. It's just you have to solve you can connect the dots in your head, but it still would have been nice to see them connected on screen as well.
Yeah.
So Jason gets blown to hell, and they break out the brooms, and they just basically they're basically sweeping him up because he's in pieces. Literally, he's in pieces. He's blown.
Like there's literally no way he could survive this, right?
No. He got blown to hell. And then, and we see one thing that did survive, and that's his heart. His heart's on the ground and it's still beating. And the cops notice it too, and they're going like, "That's really weird." His heart's beating, and ugh. Yeah. It's hey, Night Fright, how are you, sir?
Hello.
Yeah. So now they go ahead and they wrap him on up, and they take him to the federal morgue. And the thing is, though, is they transported him from New Jersey to Ohio.
Yep.
To Miamisburg, Ohio. There's a federal that's where they're going to do the autopsy at.
Yep.
In Miamisburg, isn't that related to Otisburg? Okay, so I think it was Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown.
Anyway, Youngstown. Okay, I just did that for Hobbs. Give him a shout out.
There you
go. Tales around the campfire. So they took him to Ohio. Now my question is, what kept him doormat from New Jersey to Ohio? Got any opinions?
Well, as the scene goes on, I would, because everything's separated in the heart has been separated from everything. So the heart's still pumping for some unknown reason. That heart's still pumping.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's in the scene when they're bringing him in, there's a cool little cameo from one of the guards is actually Kane Hodder, the guy that plays Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the guy that pats everybody down that's going into the room. So yeah, that's Jason.
Yeah. And they people complain all the time, going, "This movie didn't have any Jason in it," and I'm like, Jason was everywhere. You just had to look for him.
Oh yeah. Oh no, this is definitely a Jason movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's King Hodder right there. I mean,
this is not an imposter movie. This is Jason. It's a different version of Jason, but it's Jason.
Yeah. Yep.
So okay, so then we meet the coroner. His name is Phil. And we learn that Jason's heart is twice the size of a normal human being's heart.
I just want to. My only problem with this was the fact that why did he wait till they got to Ohio before regenerating or causing somebody to? Because it had to be somebody's weakness. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
it was weakness of character, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, his heart was beating in New Jersey at the Camp Crystal Lake, and that's not a small trip from New Jersey to Ohio. It's not just a drive down the block.
But nobody was staring at it like the coroner.
Okay, that explains it.
Maybe. I'm just saying because he got pretty enthralled with that thing.
Well, I think what it was. I think that he was seduced by it almost.
Yeah. That's I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the heart's twice the size of it's a malformed heart, twice the size of a normal human, and it was filled with black viscous fluid.
Black.
Yeah, black.
That could have been sewage. It could have been sewage.
Maybe
from the lake. From the lake.
But wait, part 8 didn't happen. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, the coroner guy, he just gets enthralled with the beating heart, and he looks at it, and he holds it up in his hand, and he just takes a big old chunk, and he eats it like he's eating an apple.
It gives you an idea of Adam and Eve, in a sense.
Yeah.
Here he is. Here she is. She's tempted by it. She picks it up. She eats the apple. Same thing with the coroner. He says, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a bite out of it. And you're right. He scarfed it down. Yeah. And Jason's spirit immediately possesses him. And then we meet the coroner, assistant coroner coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the co-writers of the movie. That was Doug Laurie, and he's played a bit part. And he comes over with the pizza, and Kane and his buddy give him a little bit of trouble. Then he goes inside. The autopsy room, and he's talking away, and he doesn't really notice that his friend's no longer there. Thanks, Star-Lord. He goes inside, and he doesn't notice that his buddy's gone. He's now just the guy just standing there, just looking all weird and shit.
Yeah.
He sits down. He's still chatting away. And then you start thinking that he's going to grab a regular knife. You expected him to come over there and just like cut his throat. That's a Jason move, right? Grab him by the hair, reach back there. But he doesn't. Why don't you tell us about the weapon that he grabbed? Because this is one of the best.
Well, Phil, who's now possessed by Jason, he grabs a gigantic ass probe. I mean, it's freaking huge.
Huge.
Like like you think Wolverine's adamantium claws? No, this thing's about 4 times that big.
It's nasty.
Yeah, and so yeah, he grabs the poor coroner, the other coroner guy, and just goes right in for it.
Yeah, that's a nasty kill. I mean,
yeah.
I will say this right off the bat too. I mean, is that the gore on this movie on point?
Yes, well, in the unrated version, at least.
On point.
Yeah, and he actually pushes his head down into the table, and it kind of squishes into it, and there's like holes in it, and it's gross.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then so Phil Jason Phil, I guess we should call him, starts walking out, and there's a mirror on the side of the wall, and as he walks out, the reflection is of Jason. So just to make sure that you know that he's now Jason.
Yeah, he's Jason.
Yeah. And then we see, it goes to it's sort of like a newscast, I guess you could say, but it's what is it called? American Case Files. So it's kind of like, one of those, one of those shows, like America's Most Wanted type of thing.
Right.
And we see that the 2 security guards, including Kane Hodder, are now dead. They're like laying there like this.
Jason killed Jason.
Yeah, so Jason killed Jason. Yep. That's one of the only times you can say that, because I don't think Ken Kersenker died in Manhattan, so this might be.
No, I don't either. They said that he does, but I didn't think so. Either. He didn't look like that. Didn't look like enough to beat to kill him.
Yeah. So now we're in the American Case File. I always have to look at it. I'm like American Case File show, and we meet Robert Campbell, the host, who's kind of like like the smarmy,
like any Fox,
you can't stand
Fox personality.
Yeah, and he's can't
like
stand
a Bill O'Reilly type.
Yeah, and they are profiling a bounty hunter named Creighton Duke, who is he's basically hunting Jason, and he wants $500,000 basically to eradicate Jason. So I don't know. Does he not know about the blowing up of Jason? I guess not at this point, right?
No, no, I don't think. I think they probably kept that underneath wraps.
Yeah. I mean, a couple people knew, but yeah. So Creighton Duke is like a I don't know. He's kind of like a smooth talking, kind of bad, like Fred Williamson type of cat. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good though, because he did play a smooth, badass guy in 21 Jump Street. He played the captain of Johnny Depp and Richard Grieco and Holly Robinson on 21 Jump Street. So he was a badass. And Creighton Duke, nobody's fool. Very worthy foe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And I think easily the most interesting character in this movie.
Yes, by far.
And my mom with a little piece of trivia, which is 100%. Creighton was Lon Chaney's real name.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Creighton Toll was his name. Tull. Creighton Toll Chaney. Yep.
Speaking of crossover fights, Casey wants to see Creighton Duke versus Duke the Unicorn. Dude, I want to see fucking possessed Jason versus Duke the possessed unicorn.
That would be something.
That would be something.
Of course, Duke probably needs a couple more movies under his belt first, but yeah.
Let's get Steve on the horn and ask him for that. That would actually be I'm thinking about that. It would actually be really wicked.
that would be pretty. That would be pretty awesome.
It would be. Okay, so he's explaining to he knows Jason, but I do think that he was standing on the outside looking in, because I don't think the feds were broadcasting the fact that they got Jason because of the supernatural aspect of it,
Yeah.
Like, how did you do it? Where did you do it at? Plus the fact that, even if they didn't want to tell them about the supernatural element of it, they couldn't go ahead and just say, yeah. So we caught the suspect out in the open, and we just shot him up. We didn't even try to apprehend him. We just destroyed him. I don't know how well that would have gone over even back then. I mean, I wouldn't have cried a single tear, but somebody would have. So they probably kept it on the down low. So I don't think Creighton Duke would have known or been aware of it until after the fact.
Yeah, very true. So now we cut to a diner back by Crystal Lake, and we meet a lady named Diana Kimball, and she's a waitress at the diner.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, who's hanging out at the diner? But
Creighton Duke,
Creighton Duke himself. That's right.
looking all Fred Williamson like.
Yep. Yeah. He's all badass in this movie.
He really is.
They should have made him the main character.
They should have.
I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, for the final guy, I really like the final guy. I thought he brought the noise. John D. LeMay.
John LeMay, yeah.
Yeah, as Steven. I thought he brought the noise. I thought he was very worthy as too. I liked him a lot, actually.
Yeah, he was kind of like your. Well, we'll get there. we're almost there.
But tell us who Diana Kimball is.
So Duke asked Diana for help to kill Jason, and the reason he asked this is because she is Jason's half sister. You heard that right. She's Jason's half sister on his father's side, Elias. So, yeah. So I found that pretty interesting because it's like, well, wait a minute. Wait, number one, wait, what?
Yeah. I was like, half sister. After all this time, now he's getting a half sister.
Yeah.
After all this time,
the 9th movie in the series.
After 100 people died.
Yeah. It's like, all right. So that's the way they're going. Well, to me, this is kind of what they did with Freddy too, with the Freddy's Dead, with the daughter and all that. Like,
right.
It's like, okay, whatever. But so yeah. So
we should bring up who played Diana Kimball.
Yes, the lovely Erin Gray.
That's right. What a now here's a couple of things for you. So Adam Marcus, he took a meeting with Erin Gray, and he talked her into taking the role. He talked to her for 2 hours, and he explained the role for her. He says, "Listen, I'm going to do something that most directors don't do with you, and that is because Erin Gray was a model first, then an actress, right? She got her start as a model. That's what she was known for, and then she became an actor. And with this, he turned around and said that he's going to make Erin Gray an actor. So I want you as an actor first. I don't want you as a model. I want you as an actor." And so, she talked to her. They talked it out, and he took the part. What a lot of people don't know is who else auditioned for the part as Diana Kimball, and that was Tippi Hedren from The Birds. She auditioned for the part as Diana Kimball. Yes. So I thought that was interesting because even at that time, Tippi Hedren really wasn't she was very reclusive. She had all her animals and everything else. She wasn't exactly out there doing a lot of parts. So for her to come out and actually audition for that role, that was interesting.
That's cool. That's a neat little tidbit I did not know. How about that? You learn something new on the Midnight Society.
That's right. Thank you.
Every time. All right, so let's see. So also in the diner, we meet Steven, played by John LeMay, who I guess you all know now is one of the final people. That doesn't mean necessarily that he lives. I'm just saying he's one of the final people.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's kind of like I don't know how would you describe him? I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say all American, but like
he really was. That's exactly what. That's exactly what he. So?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, did you notice his clothes?
It was all like red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
The only thing he was missing was a shield.
Yeah.
And him being from Brooklyn.
Yeah, very true. And that would have been the ultimate American. I guess so. So we meet him, and then we see him driving, and he picks up three hitchhikers.
Three hitchhikers.
2 ladies and a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go camping at Crystal Lake now, because now they know, they somehow know that Jason has been apprehended and blown up.
Yep.
Yeah. So so they're like, yeah, it's safe. So so we're gonna go have sex and do drugs. That's basically what they literally say that.
That's right.
Yeah. Which I thought was actually kind of funny.
An unsafe sex at that.
Oh yeah. Yes. They make sure to actually say that. Yep. So so he drops them off, and so they go on their merry way. And then the next scene, it cuts to like nighttime, and I'll just call them the hitchhikers. They have all the tent set up, the whole deal, and they're coming back now from I assume was skinny dipping or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. They were having a good time and they're wet. How about that? That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And so the guy and the brunette is a brunette and a I don't know, she's like a redhead, or I want to say she's like a redhead, strawberry blonde maybe. Yeah. So the dude and the brunette go into the tent. They're about to go have a nice little fun time, and the redhead stays outside in a sleeping bag. And so the redhead goes off into the woods to go to the restroom, and gets attacked by Phil, who's possessed by Jason.
Yep, Phil the Corner.
Yep, Phil the Corner / Jason. And so she's out the picture already. And then we learn that the brunette's name is Debbie. So Debbie leaves the tent to go pee, just like Red just did, and she actually says, "I'll be right back." So there's your I'll be right back.
Yep.
And she so she goes, and it looks like the same exact spot that the redhead went to.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the same exact spot. So I thought that was
maybe they had a community squatting down area.
Yeah, oh maybe. And so she comes back to the tent, and then her and the dude start going at it. And so I'm not sure how graphic it is in the R-rated version, but the unrated version is actually fairly graphic for one of these type of movies.
It's fantastic.
And it's I mean, it's actually it's well done for sure. And
somehow supernatural. He is supernaturally possessing these people, because you had to think of the strength it took for this.
Yeah. And Star-Lord, the only reason I'm not putting up any of your stuff is because we're going to get to all that later. So Debbie, basically, she's climaxing, and while that's happening, our good old boy Phil gets like this giant spear thing. I don't even know what it was. I don't know if it was a tent.
I think it was a shovel. I think it was a shovel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So and this is probably the best kill, at least in the unrated version. This is the best kill. So he spears her, and so it goes through. You see the whole thing, and then he lifts the spear or shovel, whatever it is, like up through her body, and like splits her open, and she like flips. She like goes in half.
Yep.
It was really cool. It was really cool looking. The effects were done by K&B effects, so you were going to get some top quality stuff here. Yeah, and it was super wicked looking. And it was
definitely one of the better kills.
I mean, she just splits wide open. It's just like, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Cal's in the house. Let's see.
That's definitely. I have to agree. It's definitely one of the better kills in the series. And the guy sitting there. Most of the time it's always been the girl on the bottom, and then Jason goes through the guy to get to her. Right. And this is the other way around. And so that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
man, that was
they
that
had
was
they had invited Steven to come out and hang out with them, because there was two girls and a guy, so
oh yeah.
they were trying to get him to come out, but he was tempted there for a minute, but he has somewhere to go, so he said, "I'm sorry, I can't." And Red thought he was really sweet and gave him a little kiss on the cheek before he left. But now he's on the way to the diner
Right. Right.
after these kills were actually added on to after the movie was filmed. They had to go back, and this is the common theme in these movies, is that the executives were not happy with it. They wanted more kills. They wanted more teenagers. So they went ahead and after principal shooting, they went ahead and grabbed the skeleton crew and shot that scene right there. So yeah, they added on 3 more victims. But now we get to the diner. The diner is one of the highlights of this movie. The diner life is really because you meet some really interesting people at the diner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Well, not only do we see Diana Kimball, who's really, they really like her a lot, but now we meet Joey B. and her husband Shelly B. And oh God, what's the other guy's name? Was it Ward?
Ward. Yeah.
Ward.
Yep.
Ward. We don't know what Ward's if he's a family member or not, but Shelly B and Shelby B and Joey B are definitely connected. They're husband and wife.
Yes.
And so they're that's where Sean drives up to the he goes to the restaurant because Diana, because he's seeing Diana's he's dating Diana's daughter.
Right.
Right.
Which we'll get a little bit more into that relationship in a couple minutes.
Sure.
But yeah, so now we see Diana go behind the diner, and we meet the real hero of this movie, Tango the dog.
That's right.
And so she goes and she feeds him behind the diner. I was actually hoping Tango would be in this more, honestly. But then we also meet one of the cops, and his name is Phil. And I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. His name's Josh. Jason is Phil. Okay, so we meet Josh, and he appears, and he talks to Diana for a second, and he says he's there to meet his lady friend. And so the lady friend shows up, and they're all kissing and stuff, and they're about to get into the car, and Phil shows up, and he smashes this poor girl's head in from the door into the car. Like, he just completely smashes it. Boom.
Yeah.
Now this cut was interesting because this looks like it was one of those scenes that was cut, that like edited down, and they just kind of didn't put it back in. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. But that's kind of what, because it's real fast. It's like boom, and like you don't see anything else.
Yeah.
So then Phil, of course, attacks Josh, and he bites. He like bites. No, he doesn't bite Josh.
No, he doesn't.
There's basically what happens now is that Jason, once the body is used so much, he needs another body to survive before he can be reborn.
Right.
And we'll explain how he can be reborn in a little bit. But so basically right now it turns into Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and he has to go from body to body until he can get to a point where he can be reborn. So this becomes kind of like, I don't know if you ever seen Shivers, but it kind of becomes like that, where this like creature thing comes out of the mouth. It's kind of like a little worm looking thing. And like, yeah. So the worm goes into Josh, and now Josh is Jason. Does that make sense?
I think we're missing a part because I think he passes them on He shaves him, and then he gives that to him.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't think
Yeah,
that.
we have to go back to that part because he didn't kill Josh. He knocked him
That's
out.
true because of where he takes him. He takes
Right.
right.
So he
So
knocks Josh out because he knows he needs his body and he can't kill him. So what he does is I guess he leaves. I don't know where the girl's at, but when Josh wakes up, he's tied down. It looks like an S&M scene, you know.
yeah,
Um, and so Phil goes ahead and we think that maybe he's going to kill him, but then his hands are real shaky and he's running out of time. His body's almost used up. And so what he does is he shaves Josh. He shaves him. He shaves his beard and his mustache off. And then he bends over and then he gives him, Jason's spirit goes inside him and basically leaves Phil. That's it for Phil. He's done. And so I think he probably lets him out before he dies again.
yeah.
So, but yeah, that was a lot of people were really, they were really like, that scene. They were like, ooh, because it was just so openly, homosexual, and a lot of fans were like, what? But there's a reason for this. He's possessed, and so he doesn't really know what he's doing. He just knows that he's running out of time, and this is how he passes on his essence is through, and he does it for anybody and everybody. He puts his mouth into theirs, and he's literally, he spews it off, in a kiss, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
So yeah, that was and of course this all happened at the Voorhees house.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the first time that we. Good night, Mom. This is the first time that we really learn of the Voorhees house. So now Jason has a house just like Freddy and Michael.
That's right.
So and that is an issue that I have with this movie that I'm gonna talk about probably after we go through the movie. One of the many issues that I have with this movie. But so let's see. So now we cut to Josh, and he goes. Wait, let's see. Okay, so Josh is Jason. Okay, I know it's always hard to remember. Wait, who's who? All right, so Josh the cop is Jason. So now we see Josh going after Diana in her own house. So and they all know each other, so it's like
She's not. Yeah, she's on the phone. She's not. She's not even. She doesn't even think about it twice.
No, she's like, oh hey Josh, how's it going? Kind of thing. And so Josh attacks, and Diana actually shoots Josh in the head. Like there's a big old bullet hole in his head now.
Yep.
Of course, that doesn't stop Jason.
And by this time, Sean gets to the house because Sean and Diana is dating Diana's daughter. And so he gets to the house. Yeah, he gets to the house. The daughter is Jessica. So he gets there and gets he's because he's supposed to meet Jessica at the house. So he comes in. As they're initially. He comes in after they start fighting again because Diana goes to walk by him, even though she shot him in the head. She's still wary of that. Mm-hmm. And she walks by him, and sure enough, he regenerates. So he truly is not like a zombie where he could shoot him in the head and he'll die. He's beyond that. So you could shoot him in the head and he's going to regenerate. Or reanimate, not regenerate, reanimate. So that's what he does. He grabs her legs and they start fighting. Mm-hmm. And then Sean comes in and sees them fighting, and he jumps into the fray as well. Trying to help out.
Yep. Yep. Steven comes in for the save. And Diana, unfortunately, gets knifed in the back by Jason or Josh.
He's Josh. She jumps in front of him.
Jason Josh. Yeah. And so Josh then gets gets into it with Steven, and Steven kind of like spears him, and kind of like he kind of busts out the window, and the my thing froze, and my let's see, where am I at? So then we see the sheriff arrive, and the sheriff doesn't believe anything that Steven's saying, and he thinks Steven killed Diana, because
Right.
there's no other body, no other, Josh is gone.
And Josh got blood on his hands,
Oh
literally.
yeah, oh yeah, and pussing out of his head. um, so yeah, so Josh is gone. So now we finally get to meet Jessica, who was Diana's daughter. So therefore, it would be Jason's half niece, Jason's niece, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, and Jessica also has a daughter named Stephanie, who's a little bitty baby.
Little baby.
Yep. And so they return to Diana's house, and we learn that Steven is the father of Stephanie. So they had a thing going on, and so now Steven is locked up. Now
And
the thing,
Diana's body goes missing too.
it does, yes, and Diana's body does go missing, and some Vicky's cleaning it up, and its whole thing. But the interesting thing to me about Steven in jail, it really reminded me of the first Nightmare on Elm Street, with all the jail stuff, and them not believing him, and to me it was very reminiscent of the first Elm Street. I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's see, let's catch up here. Oh, Ashley's here. Hey, how's it going? Let's see.
Uncle Jason, yeah.
Uncle Jason, yeah. That's really what they should have called this one, Uncle Jason. That's actually not like that's not a bad band name, Uncle Jason.
Uncle Jason versus Uncle Buck.
I would watch that.
I would.
Let's see. Michael and Freddie don't have a camp. They don't. But now Jason has a house too. But whatever. All right, so let's see. So Steven's hanging out in jail, and lo and behold, who else is also locked up in jail? But our good pal Creighton Duke. And
yeah, they arrested him. What did they arrested him for? I think Sheriff Landis did that. Sheriff Landis arrested Creighton Duke.
Yeah, I never really got why, but I'm assuming is that little they kind of got into it at the diner.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the impetus for that. I don't know. Yeah, that wasn't fully explained, I don't think. But so he starts talking to Steven, and he basically tells Steven that he's the only one that knows how to actually kill Jason Voorhees. And he says that the only way to kill Jason is through his heart, and that the only person that can do it is a blood relative. So literally there's only two people left in the world that can do this. Jessica and Stephanie. That's it. Everybody else is gone. There's apparently no other blood relatives whatsoever. So, and then Creighton also explains that he needs new bodies to jump into because they get weak.
Right.
And then this is the quote how you learn. He said Jason needs to be reborn again, and he needs Jessica to do it. So basically what it is that he has to like body snatch into her,
right,
to be reborn and become the Jason Voorhees we all know.
Right.
Yeah. Now,
but they do leave out a key. But Creighton doesn't know this. But he's got it partly right, and as we find out.
But the thing I don't get: how does Creighton know all this?
Yeah, it would have been really cool. If they would have had if they would have had like a little bit of a back history for that, it would have been like him being like a former FBI agent, then turned. I think initially the story was going to be that when he was 12, that Jason killed his sister. They were out on the lake, and Jason took his sister and drowned her. That was like the original backstory, but they didn't keep that. Um, yeah, so they didn't do that. So yeah, so they really didn't give him necessarily a backstory. It's just that he was just showing up and kicking ass. Um,
Yeah.
which is a shame because this story actually does have a decent backstory to it. It's for what it is. I thought they did a really nice job in the storytelling. I mean, this one really does have a story. This is one that's it's better than the most. I mean, I guess the only other story that probably as far as, I mean, this is the most character development, more detailed characters. I mean, I like that. I like that a lot, and he managed to keep the gore on point too. It kept it is probably the 13th movie, but it's also a decent story for a change.
Yeah, and it's definitely way different than all of the other Fridays.
Yes,
Like this one sticks out like a sore thumb because it's so different. Yet it still has the feel kind of a Friday the 13th movie because of all the Jason stuff. But the other interesting thing is that when Duke gives any information to Steven, there was a price to pay.
Yes,
for it, and the price to pay is broken fingers because they can't have anything else right now. They're both locked up, right?
Right.
So every piece of information he breaks another finger, and it's pretty. It's like
You know what I loved about that scene? I'll tell you what I loved about that scene is that the first two times, the first two fingers, he's like, he's just like, he does it, and then and he takes the hands real soft and everything else. He's just talking to him real smooth, like, and the first two times, the guy, Sean's just like, what the, he's just crouching down, holding his hands. He's just, he's screwed. He's like, guy just broke two of his fingers.
Yeah.
But then he gets up and he gets two more broken, and he puts his hand there on purpose. He knows what's coming, but he wants to know. He wants to know how to stop Jason, and he's willing to, he's like, okay, fine. If that's all I have to do in order to stop this monster and save Jessica and Stephanie, here's my other two fingers to have at. I got four more over here too. I really love that guy's personality. I thought he's almost like a final girl in a guy's body. He really is.
And I agree. This scene really showed you what kind of guy he was.
He really was, yeah.
Yeah.
Now the only part about that was now he has four broken fingers, but as we'll see, it's like he didn't have any broken fingers because he was like doing things that nobody should be doing with four broken fingers.
That is for sure. Which is another continuity error there.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah. Look, just a little. Yeah. So anyway, so after he gets all of this information, Steven eventually breaks out of jail by coercing his buddy cop that's there, and so he locks up his buddies, the buddy cop. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Randy, that's his name, Randy. So
they were friends. They're friends.
They're friends. Like I said, everybody in this town knows everybody, and they're all they're all cool with each other. Blah blah blah. So anyway, so he locks up Randy. He leaves Duke there, and he hightails it, and he goes to the diner. And is this the part? I don't know if I wrote this down.
Now by this time though, I think the cop had transferred his essence to the Bill O'Reilly guy.
It's coming, yeah. So let's see. So I have when Steven gets to the diner, Ward, which is one of the workers, he offers up his car to Steven. He's like, here, just take it, dude. And Steven drives to the Voorhees house. And let's see. And so he kind of starts lurking around the Voorhees house, right? He's like he's inside of it. And he finds the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So now we're coming up to, okay. Now, normally we just keep going with the story, but we have to talk about this right here. Yeah,
this is what he finds right there.
So Al has the book. How'd you get that?
This is actually a Evil Dead Special Edition Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now this is a big. This is like probably one of the biggest plot things in this whole series, a plot device. Now, Adam Marcus, when he wrote the story, he wanted to include this, into the story, and this is what because he loved Sam Raimi, he loved the Evil Dead, it scared the shit out of him when he was a kid and everything else. So he got invited to go on the set of Army of Darkness, and he did, and he wanted to ask Sam if he could borrow the Necronomicon. How do you the Necronomicon? Necronomicon. Okay, I'm killing that. So he actually went there, and he went to Sam Raimi, and he says, "Listen, I'd like to borrow that." And so, do you mind? Would you mind? Because I want to connect your world with Jason's world. And Sam Raimi's going like, "Yeah, all right." And so they gave him the prop, in a plastic bag, and so he gave that to Adam Marcus. So Adam Marcus goes ahead and says, I'm going to connect, Jason's a Deadite, basically what he said. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to establish that here. And so that's what I did. And the problem was with doing that, because he likes that and everything else. But the problem we had with watching this, me and Al were talking about this, it's forced. It's forced, and it doesn't really fit. And I think I admire Adam Marcus's ambition, because he clearly showed ambition. I mean, he wanted to establish. Could you imagine that Freddy, Jason, and Evil? And that has happened. That eventually did happen in the comic books. Ash versus Freddy versus Jason. Yep. They had a couple of miniseries down the road, but he wanted to do that in this movie. And the thing about it was he did that without asking the main person about it. He went to Sam Raimi and told Sam Raimi what he wanted to do, but the person he should have asked to do this before he did it was Victor Miller, the creator of Jason. He didn't go to Victor Miller. In fact, during his commentary, Adam Marcus never mentions Victor Miller's name at all. Like, he mentions talking to Sean Cunningham. He meant, working with Sean Cunningham and working with New Line on Freddy, but he didn't go to Victor Miller and say, "Listen, I'm doing this movie. I got an idea. What do you think? What do you think? Would you support this?" Mm-hmm. And I think if he would have done that, and Victor Miller would have came out there and said, along with Sam Raimi, and said, "I love it. Go ahead and do it." I think it changes the whole movie's perspective around, especially not only to the movie itself, but to the fans. I think that if Victor Miller would have said, "Yeah, I'm down with that," I think this movie goes from the middle of the pack to damn near the top as far as what this movie could have been. I also think too, if he would have did that, and Victor Miller would have said yes, I really do believe that New Line would have looked at it a little bit differently too. Like, okay, all right, so not only can we do a Freddy versus Jason, but maybe we could do, Freddy versus or Jason versus Ash. What would it take to do that? It would have if they would have gotten him to come on board, but he didn't. He totally let them out of the equation. And I think that the Easter eggs are really nice and everything else, but I don't really buy into that. I don't really buy into the the Deadites, the Evil Dead, connection or anything else.
Yeah. I mean, it pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but like it serves no actual purpose because it was never acted upon. So yeah.
You think stuff like that too, and you wonder sort of why Victor Miller was sort of like wanting to take Jason out of circulation. And I think that's part of the reasons why was I think a lot of times he's watching his creation, he's watching it, and he's watching it being used, and no one's coming to him and actually talking to him, about what his feelings are. Hey, Maverick. Hi, Michelle. Oh, gosh, welcome on in, guys.
Come on in.
Yeah, come on in. So glad you guys are here. I don't know if you met Maverick yet, Al, but I met him through the Night Watch Zone, and he's got a young channel growing, and super glad he's here to hang out with us.
Nice, welcome.
The Cheetah has not made an appearance yet, but he will.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, after all that build-up, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'd really like to hear the chat what they think about this before we go on. Do you think that adding the Evil Dead link, did that help you with this movie, or did it? Did you even care? What did you think? Do you think it was too much without anything to back it up? And do you think they should have asked Victor Miller for his input? I think they should have. I think this was just one of the things. I think it's one of the things that they did not do, and I really think this is one of the reasons why Victor Miller said, "You know what? I'm just going to bury this character." I mean, it's almost like that. No one's paying any attention to what I want. It's my character. No one's coming up to me and asking me how I want it played. How I think about it, and I think it's one of the reasons why he sat there and said he wanted to take it down, and that caused that bitter lawsuit that it's still, the fallout's still there. We're still nowhere from getting another Friday the 13th movie, and I don't think we will. I don't think we will until those two get put in an empty room and locked with a locked door and solve their differences. But
I agree. Yeah.
Let's see. Casey's going. It's a cool Easter egg. Didn't think much of it as any connection. Just head can't. It doesn't come across as canon. Whatever makes the movie interesting. I like the Evil Dead link. People nowadays can totally make sense of it. Maverick, there you go. That's what it would have been cool though and I really do, because it's like watching I can understand that. I can understand sometimes where a creator doesn't get involved in it, doesn't get asked. Hey, even if he doesn't really have any input on it, it's still nice to be asked. It's still nice to be asked your opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he might have some ideas for that, and if he gives the okay, like Sam Raimi did, right? So Sam Raimi said, "Sure, go ahead. Here's the book. Go ahead and knock yourself out." I mean, if they did that with Victor Miller, yeah, that's an awesome idea. I'm down with that. Let's do that. Let's tie him into a franchise. That because I like Evil Dead. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't mind seeing my creation battling Ash. That would be fun. But when you're not even asked to come to the party, of course you're going to get bitter. And I think this part of it. That's just me. I just think that I think Victor Miller was it's one of the reasons why he acted the way he did.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, no problem, Maverick. Glad you're here, man. You bring a lot of flavor to the various chats I see you in. So yeah, you are most welcome here. Definitely.
Awesome.
So that's just that's just my 2 cents. Yeah, Star-Lord, I'm with you. Fan theories have blown up on the internet. Yeah.
Indeed.
Gosh, you know what? I just wish someone would just do a deep dive like this on Scream. You know.
Yeah.
I can't keep it straight. Love you, Steven. Love you, Steven. All right. So pick it up, Al.
All right. So now, Robert Campbell, the host of the America's Most Wanted thing, he comes into the house, and he prepares to film an episode of American Case Files at the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically he's with Jessica, who's the Jason's niece. And so he's on the phone telling somebody, yeah, I'm just using Jessica to get to the house and to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, and the ratings.
Yeah. And also he somehow has Diana's body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to use Diana's body and place it in the house for his freaking TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shows you what kind of asshole this guy is. And in the meantime, Steven is kind of off to the side, and he's hiding, listening to all of this. And then all of a sudden, Josh, aka Jason, breaks into the house, breaks into the room that Robert is in, and now he kills Robert and transfers into Robert's body. Excuse me.
And then we see what happens to the bodies after his essence leaves. One of the great that was a great effect.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we got to talk about that for a minute, because that was awesome. After he passes his essence, Jason's essence goes into Robert. The cop basically just melts away. It's like watching the Incredible Melting Man or The Fly.
Yeah, really cool effect.
Falls apart. It's goo. It's gummy. I mean, it's awesome. This movie had, up to the point, honestly, at this point, this movie had the most gore in it by far.
Oh
yeah. That scene was top notch. Very very Rick Baker. Very, I mean, KNB, not KNB, but very very Savini like. Oh, I think, you know what? I think
it is KNB. Yeah,
it is KNB. So these are the folks that actually did Starship Troopers. That was one of the first films they did. So these guys know their business. KNB is legendary, and the effects in this movie are just top notch. And that melting scene was awesome.
Yeah, it really was. And for those that don't know, the N of KNB is Greg Nicotero, who's now gone on to The Walking Dead and whatnot. That's why The Walking Dead stuff looks so damn good. It's because it's Nicotero. Yeah.
Casey Killing Medic.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Rorschach. Medic. Private Zim. Yeah. Put your hand on the wall.
There you
go. That's right. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so let's see where we're at. Let me find my notes here.
Starship Troopers flashback.
Yeah, there you go.
So he basically takes over Robert's spirit, and once again he's fighting. And then Sean gets out of there. And in fact, he gets out of there. I want to say, how does that work? I mean, he came out? and then he collapsed in the driveway.
Let's
That
see.
later on. Later on, I know he gets rearrested again. I did watch this today.
Yeah, they actually don't explain it, but Steven sees all of this crap happen. Like he sees Josh melting and everything. Like he sees all of this crazy stuff. So now we cut to Jessica, and she's taking a shower. You know, second shower scene in the movie.
Right.
By the way. And let's see, and of course suddenly the electricity goes out. You know, like it does in these movies, right? That's another thing too. Like the same stuff happens in every single one of these movies.
But something didn't happen in this movie.
Well, yeah. So yeah, like a good movie. No, I'm sorry.
No. Ooh. How about this? How about there's no rain in this movie?
There is no rain in this movie. I was actually going to bring that up later. Yeah. Yep. You are correct. It didn't rain not once in this freaking movie, which was a shock. I guess it only rains in the Paramount universe.
Well, you know what it is. They're in New Jersey before. Now they're in Ohio now. So.
Well, no, this is back in this is back in Jersey, right? In the diner and stuff in Jersey.
No. Remember, they're in Ohio.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, yeah, well, I don't know. Anyway, so Robert Jason shows up and attacks Jessica, and then Steven suddenly runs in for the save, just like he did with Diana. So now he saved both of them. And so they kind of get into a tussle. And Steven runs outside. They both go outside, and Steven runs Robert over with a car.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
And Jessica's freaking out. Right? She's totally freaking out. So he and Jessica are in the car. They run over Robert Jason, and twice. Yeah. And I mean, like he runs over him good. So they kind of go off a little bit, you know, kind of away from it. Steven stops the car. Jessica's freaking out. Jessica throws him out of the car.
Literally.
She's like, "Get out of the car!" Blah, 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 you know. And then so she goes to the police.
Yeah, and that's right. Steven grabs the car. He gets dragged, and then he falls off, and that's when he passes out.
Yeah. So so then a little funny part happens, and we hear over like the walkie-talkies or something that there's some sort of a report or something, and it says that it's down past the Myers place. They literally say that. I was like, really? They're going that way? Okay. So yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So now Randy, who is the cop that got locked up earlier, that was Steven's friend, you know, that he coerced to get out of the jail. He comes and he sees Steven like on the side of the road, and so he stops.
Yeah.
And they start getting into a tussle. They fight. They're punching each other. Blah blah blah. And
they were going at it. There was a good fight.
That was a pretty good little fight scene, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see.
And they pulled guns on each other. You know, they wrestling around. I mean, his buddy's really upset because he got, you know, because he took him. He put him in jail. Their friendship was a little bit tested there.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit, you know.
Just a little bit, just a wee bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So now we cut to the police station, and Robert Jason bust into the police station, and he grabs Jessica because Jessica's there, like I guess doing a report or whatever, and so Robert Jason ends up killing the sheriff who was dating Diana earlier. So then let's see. So Randy and Steven come back to the police station after their little tussle, and let's see. So Steven is in handcuffs. So they're walking in like like he's booking them, right?
Right. That's right.
And so
they see they see the action, they see the fighting going on.
Yeah, they see all this crazy stuff going on. So he's like this, and so he like elbows Randy
again,
and that's why Randy gets like knocked out.
Then he jumps over the handcuffs.
And yeah, it was a really cool thing. Like he was back here, and he just kind of did a jump and like kind of got his hands in front. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Now remember, this is the same guy just not that long ago who had 4 of his fingers either dislocated or broken, right? And yet he's able to do that.
Yeah. This dude really is Superman. I don't know.
I think his last. They never said his last names, but I'm betting it was Rogers.
Yeah, they never said it, but apparently it's supposed to be Freeman.
Oh, is that what it is?
Supposedly.
I don't feel it's more like Rogers, though.
But he does act more like
Steve, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, he does definitely act more like Steve Rogers for sure. So anyway, so Steven grabs a gun and shoots Robert Jason, and and I believe he shoots with the hand that has all the busted fingers.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. He's right-handed.
Yep. And
let's see. Yeah, it's right-handed. You're right. He wouldn't be able to pull the trigger.
Yep. So that was definitely some continuity errors. So then 2 other cops come up to check on the situation, and Robert Jason just kind of takes their heads and just kind of bashes them together.
Right.
There's 2 more down.
2 more. Well, the third cop though, he had the right idea. He's just like, you see him there. He's like, he's got reaching for the gun, and he's going like, I have a feeling that ain't gonna work. And he turns and he runs.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah, smartest person in the whole movie.
Yeah, run.
Besides the dog earlier, Yeah. So then we cut to Steven and Jessica going back to the diner. And the reason they're going to the diner is because Stephanie's actually at the diner. Like Stephanie's being like taken care of and stuff at the diner by all the diner workers.
Right.
And so they're going to go get the baby. And then our good buddy Ward, who gave his keys earlier to Steven. So apparently he's cool with Steven. So Ward goes outside with a gun to kind of peruse, kind of check the area, right? And he's a young guy, and he's kind of acting a fool. He's playing with the gun and twirling it around and being goofy. And
that's how you know they were in Ohio.
Yeah. I'm sure a couple of our people love that line. Yeah. So he's out there acting a fool, and of course gets killed by Robert Jason.
But it was a cool kill though. We got to talk about the kill. So because he takes a punch and he breaks his wrist. He just grabs his wrist and he breaks it. Bones come out, and he tries the other hand, and same thing. He takes the hand and he just snaps it, and they could hear him scream. And then the people in the diner, Shelby and Joey, they hear him scream, and so they arm themselves.
Yes.
Even more so. And Vicky's there. The waitress.
Yeah. Let's see where I'm at. I really need better penmanship, but anyway. So then Robert Jason.
Let's just put it this way. I like this movie. I like this movie a lot more than Al did. Al didn't like this movie as much as I did. So
Very true.
crapping on me about being negative when you're like an hour and a half late to the show. Bad form. I like this movie.
So then Robert Jason goes into the diner. Everybody starts shooting him. Boom, boom, boom. He's getting shot up. And let's see. So the baby is now missing. They go look for the baby. Where the baby was, the baby's gone. So, and there's a note there that says, "I have what you want. Come to the Voorhees house." And then come to the Voorhees house alone is what it says.
Right.
And then we cut to Vicky at the diner. She has a shotgun. So she's shooting at Robert Jason, and but she gets killed anyway.
Okay. So there's a scene where this is interesting too. So they had the scene where Vicky is bad. Well, first she's first they're fighting, and first Joey B she gets killed with the elbow. He elbows her in the face and just like basically collapses her whole face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, Vicky's shooting Jason, Robert. She's putting rounds in him, and she's a badass too. The way she racked the shotgun and shit. I mean, she was just like, she looked like she'd been around guns for a while. And then she goes ahead and she grabs a spike, and she does some Zenith stuff here. She grabs this metal spike, and she's not just like this. She grabs it, she flips up in the air, and then grabs it. I'm like she knows what she's doing. It was awesome. And then she rams it into him, and and then he grabs her and brings her forward.
Yeah.
But and she spits up blood, right? At that scene, when they were doing that scene, the actress Allison, she started crying hysterically after the scene was over. And it turned out that she had an accident at her home, and a piece of glass had actually ripped open her arm, and she was bleeding out. And her boyfriend grabbed her and ran for the hospital. She almost died. She almost didn't make it. Damn. And so that scene, she did that scene. She was like, she's seen that blood all over herself, and took her back. She's like, it was pretty scary because this really did happen to her. So Marcus, of course, took her aside, and can we do anything different? And she goes, no, I'm fine. I just need a little bit of I just need a little bit of time. And says, I want to do it. I want to do it. So they did that scene. But yeah, she almost, I could see that, if you almost died out and then see that all over again, that'd be like a flashback. But she's definitely another badass in this movie, for sure. Yeah,
she only has a couple of scenes. It's a shame that that she wouldn't develop a little more.
They really did have some strong characters in this movie. If you really think about it, they really this is the best characters. I mean, the best characters from top to bottom. I mean, you had a couple of like really strong characters in every movie, but this movie from top to bottom had the really, really good characters. Interesting.
Yep. So Robert Jason also kills the diner owner and the husband. And now we see the note one more time, and that we see that it's signed by Creighton Duke. So we now know that Duke has the baby at the Voorhees house. So now Jessica, and now this is the point where Jessica's not putting up with any more BS, because she puts her hair in a ponytail.
Yes, right. She's going all she's doing the Cynthia Rothrock right there.
Yeah, she's like straight up. He's like, all right, I'm going to be badass now. And so she leaves in the truck. Steven sees the note, and he also sees a machete on the wall, which I thought was a nice little touch. So Jessica goes to the Voorhees house alone, because she hightailed it out of there after she saw the note. And So Duke is just kind of sitting there holding the baby, rocking the baby, Uncle Duke, and so Duke, let's see. So Duke tells her kind of the story, kind of what has to be done to kill Jason, and he gives her a magic dagger, basically.
And that also is from The Evil Dead.
It is, yeah. Which I found out later. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So so basically, what has to happen is that she has to kill him in the heart. So basically, to stop that beating heart, but she's the only one that can do it, and she has to do it with the Evil Dead dagger. So, okay, sure. I was like, I wish you could have told us this. I don't know, 7 movies ago. But what else? So Duke, let's see. Okay, so Duke falls into like the trap door. That's where all the bodies are. And let's see. So
It's Ed
yeah. So Ed and Randy, the 2 cops that are left, show up to the house. And let's see. Man, I really need to stop writing so badly. I really do.
Dr. Al. Well, it's hard for a bat to grip a pen. You have to morph into the vampire, Al.
Maybe so. Maybe because I'm watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta write that down. So
maybe the pen you're using silver.
Ooh, that's a good point. So yeah, so Ed and Randy show up, the 2 cops, and then so we find out that Randy is actually now Jason.
Right.
So it's yeah. So we don't know how it got transferred, but I guess at the diner. So Randy's Jason, and Randy grabs the baby, and Jessica. So this whole time, Creighton Duke is yelling at Jessica. He was like, anybody can be Jason. Just kill him. I don't care who it is. Just kill him. So she's hesitant at first, but then she ends up killing Ed, who wasn't Jason. And
right.
And then so Randy is now trying to infect the baby, to get transferred into the baby.
Right. Yeah.
And Steven runs in again. Heroic Steven, always running in at the right time. And he has the machete that was on the wall, and so he machetes Randy Jason, and basically this little creature pops out of Randy, and it's like I don't know. It kind of reminded me of like the Ghoulies or something. Except better done though.
It's actually reminded me of The Thing.
Did it really? Yeah, I don't know about that.
It
but,
did.
I guess I can see that. But yeah, so kind of a mix of the Ghoulies and The Thing, I guess you could say. So that's I guess the essence of Jason at that moment. So I was like, oh, okay. Now it did look pretty cool. Like the effect and stuff was pretty decent.
Yeah,
especially for early 90s. So now Jessica has the baby now, because she grabs the baby, and on one of the boxes in the house, there's actually a name written on it, like spray painted on it, and it says Julia Carpenter. So I'm like, okay, another Halloween reference. But the during the tussle, the dagger goes under this giant desk thing. I mean, not desk, dresser.
Dresser, yep.
Yeah. And so the little Jason creature's crawling around, and he ends up in the basement.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
this is like the one last Evil Dead reference right here.
Yeah.
The creature goes and finds Diana's body, and like the scene in Evil Dead, where the girl was raped by the bushes, the tree.
Yeah.
The creature goes up in between Diana's legs. Now, Aaron Gray had a problem with that scene, and honestly, who could blame her?
Yeah, right.
I'm sure she's going like, "That's me, and that's happening to me." I'm not really excited about that, but of course, Adam had to explain to her what he was doing and why he was doing it. And I'm pretty much safe to say that Aaron Gray probably had never seen the Evil Dead up to that point, so she probably had no reference to it. So yeah, but she was not particularly happy with that scene. And then we find out that Adam Marcus actually had nothing to do with it. That was not his idea either. He says that was not my idea to do that. It was somebody else's idea. I've done a lot of things, but I didn't come up with that one, and I believe him. I do. I really don't see how. I just when I saw it, it really sort of surprised me because because at that time it was a pretty big star, and yes, even though her character was dead, that was a pretty graphic scene for somebody, somebody who's supposed to be, it was a little disconcerting to watch, and to watch again. But it was obviously someone else like Evil Dead as well, because that's definitely what it brought to mind with me.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's see. So of course, since that happens, now Diana is his half sister. So that's a blood relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
even though she's dead.
Even though she's dead, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because Jason finally gets reborn in the last 5 minutes of this movie.
Right.
So he's finally back to being, Jason with the hockey mask. It's Kane Hodder. He's back to being the Jason we all know and love. Thank goodness. No more body snatching. No more any of that stupidity. So Jason immediately meets up with Duke and breaks his back.
Yeah.
And breaks him in half basically. And it's he's like, oh man. And I was really sad because Duke is the best thing going in this movie.
Yeah, he really is. Well, him and Steven, and he sacrificed himself to give them a chance to get away.
He did. So I mean, he ended up dying a hero.
Right.
Like we thought he would be. But in the meantime, while all this is happening, the dagger gets from under the dresser and it falls down to the basement with all the dead bodies. And Steven and Jason then start fighting, and they bust through the window and end up on the front lawn. And so they're fighting outside, and then Jessica goes down to the basement and grabs the dagger. She runs up, and she in slow-mo, just big slow motion, crescendo, right? And she runs up and she gets the dagger and goes right into Jason's heart.
Right before that, this again, they showcase Steven as being a badass. I mean, he really was taking to Jason for there.
Yeah, that fight was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Jason was. What I really liked about it was it showed Jason not at his full strength. He wasn't at his full strength.
Right.
I mean, when you see him pick him up, you can see a little bit of a struggle for him. And there's no crushing. There's no, you think that's what he would do, but all he does is grab him and he keeps throwing them, but he can't throw them hard enough or far enough to really do any damage. He's just picking them up and throwing them, and it's not, he's still able to fight. So he's not quite at full strength. And I thought that was a really nice, subtle touch as saying there, it's going to take time. He's not going to be uber Jason right away. He's going to take a little time to grow, to be back. He basically is a baby again, so to speak. Again, we've been reborn. He's not going to be at his full strength. And I thought it was a nice, subtle touch by Marcus to show that. So kudos to him for that. And it bought time. It bought time for Jessica.
Right. Exactly. So she gets him in the heart, and then these like sparks of light start flying out of Jason, and then it turns into like a sci-fi movie, right? With like this all this stuff sparking out of him, and let's see. So he's still kind of like going a little bit. So then Jessica, gets up and she kicks the dagger like more into him, and basically he he I don't know, like perishes. Like he kind of I don't even know how to explain it really.
Well, this is a part two. This is one part I have to agree with you on this. I didn't really like this part right here, and I'll tell you why. So she kicks him in the chest, and then all of a sudden, all these basically all these souls that he has killed are coming out of his body. They're coming out of his body, and then as he's standing on the ground, suddenly the ground gives away, and you see all these hands are coming up out of the ground, and they're his victims from past, and they're
And they're
all coming up
giant
to
too, they're
grab.
big old
Yeah,
things.
they're all coming up to grab him to drag him down to hell. Now, the only problem I had with this scene was the simple fact that basically they're showing off all his victims were all in hell, and I just really found that sort of like wow. So everybody that he killed is going to be in hell. I mean, it would have been better off there to not done that. You needed to bring in like demons or something, not the people that he killed. I mean, those people didn't do anything to deserve their deaths. So why are they all in hell? You know what I'm saying? Or either that, or you have an avenging angel or something so that you're going to go that route, right? I mean, you have to talk angels or angelic beings if you're going to talk about him going to hell. I thought that was a little bit. I was like, wow, I don't get that aspect at all. Why his victims all are down there in hell, and that I could understand them wanting revenge, but that's the only part that just sort of threw me off. I just wished he would have did something with that a little bit differently. But you see him coming up. It's like Drag Me to Hell, which is another Sam Raimi movie. It's sort of like that, but it's years before. He's standing there, and then all the beings come out and grab him, and they start pulling him back down. And then he grabs Sean, and it looks
Well,
like he's gonna take Sean with him, or Steve. I'm sorry, Steve. So he's gonna
so
take Steve with him,
mhm.
and then Jessica comes and she grabs Steve, Steve, and pulls him out while Jason goes down to hell.
So is that what he said on the commentary? Because I wasn't able to listen to the commentary. Is that what the hands were?
Yeah, they were supposed to represent his past victims.
Oh, you see,
One,
I never did get that. That okay? That changes things too. Because yeah, I just thought they were like demons or something.
yeah,
I didn't get that.
yeah. It's no, it was all the light that was coming out of him after he's dying. Were the spirits of his victims. So it
Okay.
was like, yeah,
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. I don't know if I like that. I don't think I
I
like
didn't,
that.
I didn't like that at all. I thought that was like, I just, it sort of tells you that everybody that he killed deserved it. And I don't really like that. I didn't like that narration at all.
Okay, so then after all that happens and Jason is finally dragged to hell, um, Stephen and Jessica walk off into the sunrise because it was at night, so the sun's rising. Um, and then we cut to the ending, the real ending of the movie, and really, this is the scene that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
Like everybody remembers. Like you can forget about the rest of the movie because nobody cares. This is the scene that every single person in the world remembers. This camera starts panning over, and we see Jason's hockey mask in the sand. Okay, and you want me to do it, or would you like
Oh,
to do
no,
it?
go ahead.
All right. So the wind's blowing. It's a nice little shot right on the mask. The mask is right in the middle of the camera, and then all of a sudden we have a hand pop out of the sand, and the hand is of course Freddy Krueger's hand, with the glove and the whole deal, the sweater. So it comes up and it grabs onto Jason's mask and grabs it down into hell. And that's how Jason Goes to Hell ends.
The hand to grab that and the laughter is not Robert Englund. I listened to it again. It's not Robert Englund. And the hand that was used was actually Kane Hodder.
It was
Kane Hodder. Yep, it was Kane Hodder's hand, and he was wearing it, and so basically he was grabbing himself.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't sound right. He grabbed the mask and he pulled it down in there, and that's where they left it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, or however you look at it, after that, then the best Jason movie took place before we got Freddy versus Jason,
which happens way after, in
Freddy.
Timeline wise, of Freddy versus Jason. But
that's right.
but so since that was Kane Hodder's hand as Freddy, that means Kane Hodder has played 3 of the big 4, because he's Jason. He also played Leatherface in a couple of scenes,
right?
And now he also was Freddy.
But you got to throw in Victor Crowley in there as well.
He is, I wouldn't say he's part of the big 4 though, because the big 4 would be Michael too. But yeah.
But yeah, because actually, he was actually quoted as saying his favorite kill used to be in Friday the 13th with the the girl in the sleeping bag. He used to sit there and say that was his favorite kill, but he actually said that now his favorite kill is when it's the one in Hatchet. He grabs somebody's face and split them and pulls
the guy
apart.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. That is a badass kill. I do have to say.
I gotta get the other 2 movies of that. I got 2. We should talk about that.
What, the chainsaws?
No, that was Victor Crowley. That'd be
Victor Crowley's. Oh yeah, I got all 4.
I got 2. I gotta find the other 2. Okay. So like Jennifer was mentioning earlier about me being negative about this movie. I actually really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it a lot more than you did, based on what she said. But I like to think that your opinion of it has changed more for the positive now in rewatch than it did.
Well, okay. So when I first saw this movie, I guess I was about 13 when it came out, and I actually went to the theater to see it. I did enjoy it quite a bit back then. Then I want to say it was a few years later. It was in the early 2000s when I got this DVD. Yeah, this is a DVD because I don't have that big crazy ass box set. I got. But
oh my God, I only got 3 of these. I have 3 of them, and one I can't even listen to.
Nice.
I was crushing my nuts.
So anyway, I rewatched this in early 2000s when I got this, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of stupid. So I've watched it a couple of times since then. This is probably maybe my 5th or 6th go around with this movie overall. I kind of switch back and forth. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I like the initial concept of it. I do think it's interesting. But to put it up with all of the other movies, it sticks out too much. So as part of the franchise, I don't like it. I don't know. There's too many things about it that bug me. Like the whole sister thing, the whole super convoluted backstory that was never ever mentioned in any of the previous movies.
But they did that before, though. They did that. They tried to introduce Jason's father. They were going to introduce Jason's father, and
but they never did.
No, they had it storyboarded. He had it. Yeah, he had it set up. He was going to do it. He was actually going to include it into the movie, and then he had a storyboard. So I mean, it's not like it wasn't thought of before.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's not and you got to remember that. So it's like I think that they had always been there. They had to think of a way to extend the series, and I think that introducing another family member it's just like Scream. I mean, every single Scream has somebody's family member as Ghostface. It's never anybody unknown. It's always someone connected. And
Right.
and it's just like, okay, that was all right for the first two, maybe, but every single damn movie's the same thing. It's everything, it's all connected. It's like, I don't know about you, but I like the idea of just being totally surprised. I don't want it to be like, oh, is his brother again or his uncle again? I mean, I get that. I mean, but I think it's just doing it just to try to, just to establish some continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. It would have been nice to have some backstory.
Yeah. I know it's like there was. I also felt that there was stuff missing. Like there wasn't, there was just something not quite there that made it a full, I don't know, like a full fleshed out story to me. And then I don't know, the whole body snatcher thing, I wasn't the biggest fan of. Now that being said, I love the guy that plays Phil, the coroner. Um,
Richard, yeah,
Richard Gant is awesome. I love him. He plays one of my favorite characters like ever in George Washington Duke in Rocky Five, and so yeah, so I adore him. I think he's fantastic, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. And then the other thing that I didn't like is that I don't. It's not that he was ripping off the other movies, but there were so many references to Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and like all these movies. And
I guess the first scene was taken almost lifted straight from The Hidden.
Right, and right. I was going to mention The Hidden too, but like yeah, like that whole all of it was just. I don't know. It just kept beating over the head with all these references to other movies, and like I don't know, like and all those other movies are better than this movie.
You know who else did that too? I saw the same thing you're talking about. I saw that in that movie Death House. They did that whole damn thing. They did the whole same thing you just mentioned.
Yeah,
They're so busy trying to reference in and get in Easter eggs, and I did this, I snuck in this. It's like, wow, you made everybody else's movie but your own. Really what you did. Everybody else's movie's in here, but where's yours? Where's yours? Stuff in the Evil Dead reference in there. I mean, that was just like, I like I said, I don't know why would you do that, without getting the blessing of Victor Miller and or maybe not do it at all, maybe not do that. But I can understand part of it, why he did it, like, passing the spirit on. I mean, how else were you going to do it? It had to be physical touch. So I get that, and I can dig that. I appreciated that. But I'm with you. I would have liked to see a more backstory. I would have liked to see. I think if you had, maybe I'm putting too much on this, but I think if you would have Victor Miller's approval, I think you could actually said it. You could actually connected it verbally, like had the characters actually say it. Because Sam Raimi would have signed off on it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But they couldn't because you still got Victor Miller sitting over there, and I'm sure Victor Miller would have went to Paramount and said, "Listen, I'm all right with this. I'm okay with this. I go let him run with it. And and maybe it would have saved the movie, maybe it wouldn't have. I personally like the movie. I definitely think it's better than a couple of one of the movies we watched. Definitely better than Part 8.
I would definitely agree with that.
I actually really like this movie, even though I did like Part 5. I like this movie better than Part 5 too.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I like this movie better than Part 5. I thought there was some interesting things here, and I definitely like the characters were all cool. The characters were kick ass from top to bottom. This is the strongest movie character wise in the series so far. Every character they had in here was really cool. Even the jerk news guy. I like this character too. I mean,
yeah, most of the characters were very strong. Yeah, definitely. and I really appreciate that they tried to do something different with this one. And I find that since it went to New Line, like if you really look at them, each movie is very different from the others. And you know, I know they were trying to breathe like new life into it, and I totally get that, and I appreciate that they attempted it. It's just that this one didn't quite do it for me. There's some very good things about it, and there's certain things about it that I do like, but I don't know.
It could have been too. Like Adam Marcus was extremely young, and this is his first feature right here, basically his first feature film. So, I mean, for what he did and how old he was and whatnot, I do think he did an outstanding job. I mean, he did. And kudos for New Line for letting him go and letting him come out there with the gore. That gore is the best of any in the series up to this point.
Now that I would agree with you on that for sure.
I mean, it makes the rest of the films in the series almost look like rated PG-13. These kills were just nasty as hell. And they didn't pull any punches about it, and I appreciated that. It was great effects. For what they had in their budget at the time, the effects at the end with the little lights and all that was not bad. It was not bad. I mean, for what it was. I mean, now it would be done digitally, but this wasn't bad. It was nicely done. Kane Hodder, of course, another great run as Jason. It was nice to see him out of costume too. It was humorous to see him on the guard, because everybody's sitting there going like, "There's no Jason in this movie. Where's Jason?" Well, right in front of you. I bet you if you didn't say anything to anybody and you sat down and you watched this movie with them, and someone said, "Well, where's Jason at?" If you didn't say anything about it, they probably wouldn't even recognize Kane Hodder.
No, yeah, I mean, nerdy horror people like me would, but
Starler says he'd like to see a Friday the 13th movie in Jason POV. Okay, so here's the other part I had a problem with. Okay, this is the other part.
It'd be like half a shot.
Now, Adam Marcus tried to sit there. He tried to fix the timeline, and he couldn't, because this is how it went. He is saying how he said that Mrs. Voorhees, Pamela Voorhees, used the book of the Necronomicon to bring back Jason. Okay, that didn't work at all. That does not work at all for a lot of different reasons. He says, well, first we see Jason, he drowns as a 12-year-old, and then we see him as a 12-year-old attacking Alice in the first movie, and then in part 2, we see that he's grown 3 feet. He's become an adult. Here's the problem with that. Jason was never in part 1. That was a dream sequence. Think about when she gets attacked in the boat and she gets pulled into the water. Okay, now she's dreaming this. This is what she's dreaming. She's not seeing Jason as Jason. She's just in the boat. Now, because think about it. She's stressed. Mrs. Voorhees has just told her about how her son died. Okay, she tells him how he died. When she's out there passed out in the boat, it would be natural to think about what had just happened and have a nightmare, so to speak. Okay, the attack on her was a nightmare. Jason was not 12 years old in the first movie. He was already full grown in the woods in the first movie. That is why the next movie has him as an adult. He's sitting there going like, well, it didn't match. Here, no, it did match. What you failed to see was it was a dream sequence. That attack on Alice never happened. When she's at the hospital, they're talking to her and they're going up. They put her in the car and they got her to. Even when they put a blanket around her, her clothes aren't wet. She's there's no wounds on her. Even at the hospital when they're talking about her, there's no wounds on her. There's no scratches. There's no bruises. There's no nothing. That would have gave proof to the cops that she was actually attacked by something. She could sit there and say, "Yeah, he grabbed me right here," and okay, there you go. There's a bruise right there. but there's nothing like that. So right, Bones is sitting there watching. She watched him get killed. If she used the book to bring him back, like he says, why in hell would she be killing anybody? She's got her son, right?
Right.
That
wouldn't make any sense.
It makes no sense at all for her to sit there, raise him up, and then go out there and kill anybody. Because as far as she's concerned, he's been dead. But it's still there's still one piece of plot line is I don't know why, and it never hasn't been explained. I don't know why, or nobody has explained why, how Jason and his mother never met each other at all.
Yeah, I mean, that is
she didn't know that he was alive, and he didn't make his presence known to her. That's a big hole.
Yeah.
But saying that I do have to say one thing too that he mentioned that was funny. He shows Creighton Duke pulling out a bunch of clippings, and as they're going through the clippings, there's a picture of Jason looking right back at you, in the newspaper, and he goes, how did they get that picture of Jason with the photographer? How did he survive taking that picture? I had to laugh at that. I had to get there and go like, yeah, that would be a really good question to ask. Okay, smile for the camera. But yeah, that was sort of funny. Let's see, maybe he did show herself to her and she doesn't believe it, and that's why she's crazy. That could be.
I mean, it's possible.
It could be, but I think she was already crazy beforehand. I don't think that would have drove her crazy. I think she already was crazy, and she would have embraced him, I think. But no, I don't think she used the book to raise that anybody.
No, that's stupid. I don't like that.
So I like I said, I like this movie a lot more. I watched it again. I saw this in the theater too, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Kudos to Aaron Gray and and Stephen Williams for doing it. I mean, you start seeing a little bit more star power in this movie too. Stephen Culp was in it. He played the news reporter. He was actually he's related to Robert Culp, I believe. It's his son.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Aaron Gray at the time was, she had coming off Silver Spoons and Buck Rogers. So she was still with a name. Stephen Williams was coming off 21 Jump Street. So, I mean, they have some name recognition there. Allison Williams, who played the waitress, she started on Broadway as Annie for many years. Yep. And so there, I mean, in the next two movies, we see even more star power. So,
well, that is another thing about this one. I did notice an improvement in acting.
Yeah,
because everybody was pretty solid.
Very solid.
Yeah. So that definitely is a big time improvement over the other movies. Definitely.
Yeah. So we got a couple of announcements here. This was going to be our last show for a couple of weeks as far as Friday the 13th series. Al is going on vacation for 2 weeks. Next week, I don't know who's going to probably join me. Maybe Echo, maybe somebody else. But we will be covering. We're stepping away from Camp Crystal Lake. We are going to be covering the movie Fist of Legend with Jet Li next week. We want to talk about. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Very cool movie. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool movie. I just love that movie. Jet Li's best movie he's made, in my opinion. Which is his homage to Bruce Lee. It's this remaking of a Fist of Fury. So we'll be talking about that. I don't know what we're doing on the 8th yet. I don't know. But we will be back here on May 15th. I'm doing this 4 weeks in a row. I will be back here on the 15th for the best movie in the series, Jason X. Fight Me. So we'll be here for that, and then on the 22nd of May, you'll be covering the most successful movie. That would be Freddy versus Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided to do something different. And you want to tell them what we're going to be doing instead of the reboot?
So we've decided not to do the remake, much to the chagrin of probably some of y'all. But we are actually going to cover a couple of the fan films.
Yep.
Because nobody talks about those.
Yep. There's 3 fan films. Mr. Bones sent me the links to them all, so we'll be watching them. And we're going to cover the fan films instead of the reboot.
Yep. So it's going to be one big episode of the 3 fan films.
So we might go over a little bit. See, Maverick's saying it too. His favorite kill in the franchise is in Jason X. Is that where he gets shot to hell by KM-14?
Spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh, no spoilers. That's still a badass kill, though. So we're doing that, and then we're gonna go back to Al's channel after our fan films, and then we're gonna go back for rankings. We're gonna rank we'll probably have some special guests on to help share, help do that. We'll tell you more about that as we get closer to it. We'd like to know one thing, if you guys don't mind, tonight, or this week or next week or whatever. We'd like to know from you, our chat, our friends. We'd like to know, what do you like we already know what we're covering next after the series is over with, but we'd like to know what you wanted to see us cover.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a series either. It can be
a single movie.
Yeah, or it could be whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, and if you could just let us know, what movie would you like to see us cover? And you know what? Think outside the box. And don't say Redwood Massacre Annihilation either. But think outside.
Or the Friday reboot, because neither one of us want to do that one.
No. Mr. Bones sitting there going, cover. You know what? We will cover the Friday the 13th remake. I'll be taking it down to the litter box and let the Cheetah take care of that. How about that? But your wife says we should cover Hatchet. I would love to cover that Hatchet.
We could do the Hatchets. We could do that.
Or digging tomorrow. Oh, it's awesome. The Collector and the Collection. That's excellent too. I got both those. Yep.
Batteries not included. I love batteries not included, actually.
It's not included. Shit. Let's see. I like Hatchet. Amityville in Space. You know what? We will be talking to about that as it gets closer. You can rest assured about that. We're gonna be talking about that's gonna be like, to me, honestly, I'm not saying this to be saying this, but that's actually the movie I'm waiting to see this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually am waiting for that damn movie to come out. I want to see it.
It should be pretty hilarious.
It should be. You know what? I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope he puts them. Yeah. Let's see. So that's what we're gonna. It's a reboot, not a repoop.
And I just saw that.
Mr. Bones, A24 marathon. Okay, that'll never happen, ever.
Universal Monsters. That'd be good too. Yeah.
Universal Classic. Yep. I got some. You know what? I got some black and white movies. I'll tell you. I'll show you what I got.
We can do some of those. Yeah, I love Universal Classic Monsters.
Yeah. Okay. Now we want you to do this. You guys are all giving us good ideas. Now we want you to either go to my channel here tonight or Al's channel here any other time, and please leave a comment. It helps the show and it helps for both our channels. If you guys.
Yep, sure does.
Okay, Mr. Bones, if you want me to do that, then you're coming up for it. How about that?
Yeah, Bones has to be there for that one.
Yeah, sure. You have to come up. You have to come up there and talk about your favorite Sarah Jessica Parker movie, outside of Hocus Pocus. And that means we'll be talking about Sex and the City. We'll talk about Sex and the City 2, and so it goes.
There's a third one too, isn't there?
I'm not saying anything but a Dougie Ferguson movie.
I would agree with that.
Dude, we actually should do a Dougie Ferguson night.
Oh God.
That would actually be a lot of fun, actually, tell you the truth.
I did watch one. I don't remember the name of it, but I did watch one with Jennifer Nangle, the guest that you had the other day.
Yeah.
And she was great in it. Everybody else was absolutely atrocious. She was good though.
Yeah, Jennifer is a really talented actress. Very, very much so. Yeah, I would actually watch one of those movies to watch her act. I'd like to see, I'd like to see how she does. Very much so. See, Maverick saying Universal Monsters would be fun. You know what? I'm with you. You know what? Or the Monster Squad. Yep.
Yeah, Monster Squad is one of my favorites.
Let's see. See, Mars Attacks. Yep. How about Akira? How about Akira? Do you like anime at all?
I do.
Maybe we could do Akira.
We could do Akira. We could do Perfect Blue.
Man, I'd love to do Akira. Man, I'd like to do that. But I like, what? I'm digging the old Universal monsters. I'm
always down for Universal, yeah.
I got some black and white movies we could talk. You guys are awesome. Gotta give it up. We gotta give it up to our chat. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys keep those ideas coming. And drop comments. Night of the Comet. Yes, I love to do that. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Very much so. Wow, you guys are you guys are blowing me away. All right. What's been going on? What's going on your channel this week, Al? Before we get out of here.
All right. Well, this week the only thing I have coming up is I have a Dollar Tree haul coming up on Tuesday night. There's not going to be any Tubi Tuesday or anything this week, and then I'm going on vacation. So
you're doing okay. I will be going to the library Tuesday for bag sale. So keep it. Let me have another one like I had last time.
Yeah.
I will be doing. I'll be a little busy this week. I'll tell you real quickly. First of all, I want to go ahead and hype out some other shows. Don't forget, every Thursday night at 10 p.m. we have the Midnight Hour. Hobbs, Mighty Casey, Killer Katie, and Mr. Bones. All bringing the noise, bringing the funk. Then we have the Screams and Spirits on Saturday nights around 9:30, 10 o'clock. We have that going on, and then we have a new show debuting on Saturdays right before Spirits and Screams, the Witching Hour, and that's going to be with Killer Katie. Killer Katie's bringing a show with Ashley, Brianna, and the lovely Jennifer Tochi. That will be coming on Saturdays. I'm not sure what date will that. What date will your show start, Katie? What date will that start?
Yeah, if you're still here, let us know.
Yeah, let us know so we can put it in the description box. And then as far as 8 questions with, we have 4 shows. We have Chris Low Ranger tomorrow at 8 o'clock from this Saturday coming up. So you'll be going on the 23rd. The 30th. The 30th.
Yep.
So Katie's new show, The Witching Hour, will start on the 30th. I will be talking to Chris Lone Ranger from Ditched and Cut Bank tomorrow night. And then studio owner Josh DeForge will be here with me on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Then actress Angel Bradford will be here with us on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. She's going to be doing Shark Exorcist 2. That's right. That's why I did this. When I saw that on her credits, we have Shark Exorcist 2, I knew I had to talk to her. Shark Exorcist is forever. It's life. And then on Thursday, the 28th, we have film composer and documentary filmmaker Emiko, just one name. Emiko will be with us at 8 o'clock. And then again, next Sunday, I will be here probably with Echo. And we'll be talking about Fist of Legend. All right. Thanks so much for coming out. And Al, would you care to play the outro?
I don't have the outro.
Oh, we don't have the outro. Well,
No.
mate, let's play the intro again.
I got it on my channel, but not on yours.
Well, we'll play the intro again
All right, we'll play the intro. So y'all
because
stay
it's so
spooky.
badass. Because it's so badass.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.